For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again.
Attorney General's revelation to President Trump regarding Jeffrey Epstein files. In a development that sent ripples through the American political landscape, former U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi communicated directly with then-President Donald Trump in May, disclosing that his name was explicitly mentioned within the extensive investigative files pertaining to the notorious and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This highly sensitive revelation, initially brought to public attention through a meticulous report by the Wall Street Journal, immediately escalated the potential for a deeper political crisis that had already been engulfing Trump's administration for a considerable period of weeks. The sheer gravity of such information reaching the highest office underscored the ongoing and persistent questions surrounding the president's past associations with Epstein, a figure whose criminal activities and mysterious death continue to spark intense public debate and widespread speculation. Understanding Trump's established links to Epstein and the White House's shifting narrative. For a number of years, a vocal segment of President Trump's staunchest supporters has actively championed and disseminated various elaborate conspiracy theories. These theories often center on the identity of Epstein's alleged clientele and, perhaps even more controversially, the suspicious circumstances surrounding his death in a correctional facility in 2019, which was officially ruled a suicide. Despite the prevalence and deeply ingrained nature of these theories among his base, the initial response from the White House to the Wall Street Journal's report was to issue a strongly worded statement unequivocally dismissing it as fake news. However, this swift and categorical denial was almost immediately softened and clarified by a White House official who later informed Reuters that the administration was, in fact, not denying the presence of Trump's name in some of the investigative files. This official further elaborated by noting that Trump's name had already been included in a substantial batch of materials that Attorney General Bondi had previously assembled and provided to a group of influential conservative figures back in February. This detail suggested that the administration was not entirely unaware or surprised by the existence of Trump's name within these documents. The historical relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein is well documented, stretching back decades to the 1990s and early 2000s, during which they maintained an amicable connection. Tangible evidence of this past association includes multiple appearances of Trump's name on flight logs for Epstein's private plane during the 1990s. Furthermore, Trump, along with several members of his extended family, is listed within an Epstein contact book that reportedly contained hundreds of other names, illustrating the breadth of Epstein's social network and Trump's presence within it. It is absolutely critical to emphasize that, despite these established connections and past associations, Donald Trump has never been formally accused of any wrongdoing directly related to Epstein's extensive and abhorrent criminal enterprise. Trump himself has consistently maintained that his personal friendship with Epstein definitively concluded well before Epstein's initial legal troubles and criminal charges first surfaced approximately 2 decades ago, a crucial point he often reiterates to distance himself from the later, more severe allegations. The unfolding political backlash and the Justice Department's stance on further investigation. President Trump found himself facing a torrent of significant criticism and intense backlash from within his own loyal supporter base following his administration's controversial decision not to publicly release the comprehensive Epstein files. This particular action represented a direct and striking reversal of a prominent campaign promise made by Trump, who had previously vowed greater transparency regarding the Epstein case. Earlier in the month, the Justice Department issued an official memo unequivocally stating that, following its review, there was no justifiable basis for continuing to pursue further investigation or prosecution in the Epstein case. This declaration, far from quelling public concerns, ignited a powerful wave of anger and frustration among certain prominent Trump supporters, who vociferously demanded more detailed information and greater transparency regarding the wealthy and powerful individuals who were known to have interacted with Jeffrey Epstein. Their impassioned pleas reflected a deeply held desire among a segment of the public to uncover the full extent of Epstein's network and to hold any potentially complicit figures accountable, a sentiment that appeared to be in direct opposition to the administration's declared position. In an effort to address the escalating public scrutiny and manage the burgeoning controversy, Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche issued a carefully worded joint statement. While their statement deliberately avoided directly addressing the specific details of the Wall Street Journal's report concerning President Trump's name, it firmly asserted that nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution. They further clarified their actions by stating, "We have filed a motion in court to unseal the underlying grand jury transcripts," suggesting a commitment to a limited form of public disclosure through legal channels. The officials additionally confirmed that, as part of their routine briefing procedures, they had indeed made the president aware of the findings derived from their review. The Wall Street Journal's report provided additional crucial context, detailing that Bondi and her deputy explicitly informed Trump during a White House meeting that his name, along with those of many other high-profile figures, appeared within the comprehensive and sensitive files. This specific detail confirmed that the highest levels of the administration were fully aware of the implications contained within these documents, navigating complex legal proceedings and controversial information disclosures. Jeffrey Epstein's life concluded abruptly with his death by suicide in 2019 while he was being held in federal custody, awaiting trial on an array of grave federal sex trafficking charges to which he had consistently pleaded not guilty. This tragic and disputed end followed a deeply contentious legal history. Most notably, in 2008, Epstein had pleaded guilty to a prostitution charge in Florida, subsequently receiving an unusually lenient 13-month sentence as part of a highly criticized plea deal with prosecutors. The perceived leniency of that earlier agreement has continued to be a significant point of public outrage and has fueled persistent suspicions about potential undue influences or undisclosed factors at play in the legal process. In a recent legal development, on a particular Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Robin Rosenberg denied one of the ongoing requests aimed at unsealing specific grand jury materials connected to the Epstein case. The judge's ruling meticulously explained that the request did not fall within any of the strictly defined exceptions to the established rules requiring grand jury material to be kept confidential, thereby preserving the secrecy of those particular proceedings for the time being. This specific motion was rooted in earlier federal investigations into Epstein that were conducted in 2005 and 2007, as detailed in various court documents. Despite this specific denial, the Justice Department has, in a separate but related effort, requested the unsealing of transcripts in Manhattan federal court that pertain to later indictments brought against Epstein and his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell. This indicates a continued, albeit legally constrained, effort for some level of public disclosure regarding different facets of the sprawling case, adding yet another layer to the already complex and highly scrutinized narrative. The Wall Street Journal recently published a report alleging that Trump had sent Epstein a bawdy birthday note in 2003, which purportedly concluded with the suggestive and cryptic phrase, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Reuters, a major news agency, has not independently confirmed the authenticity of this alleged letter, highlighting the ongoing challenges in verifying all claims and pieces of evidence related to the intricate and often murky Epstein saga. In direct response to this particular report, President Trump has taken decisive legal action, suing the Journal and its corporate owners, including the influential media magnate Rupert Murdoch, vehemently asserting that the purported birthday note was an outright fabrication. This ongoing legal dispute further complicates the public narrative surrounding the Epstein case and adds a direct, personal legal dimension to the broader controversies over information and disclosure. The unprecedented shift in loyalty within Trump's political base. Donald Trump and his inner circle of advisors have, for a considerable time, strategically engaged in and often actively amplified various conspiracy theories. This tactic has proven remarkably effective in resonating deeply with and energizing Trump's devoted political base. This pattern of behavior has notably included theories surrounding the Epstein case, which have found particularly fertile ground among his supporters, fueling speculation and mistrust. However, the current situation presents a distinct and highly unusual challenge for a politician like Trump, who has, throughout his political career, generally enjoyed a rare and relatively unchallenged loyalty.